Thank you very much, and I'm really glad that this process worked out. It's a director network expansion.
What is the offer here, and what is the incentive package that you're aiming for that you've talked about?
The offer here is the annual CTC is 42L.
Okay.
Which is say about 23% hike from what I'm getting now. I'm aiming for at least a 15 to 20% hike in the first year.
You know, I could see that there were a couple things here that would be of greater interest and or deeper alignment with who you are. And one was it being in the not-for-profit industry, because I think some of the work that you had done earlier also had a lot of social welfare associated.
Yeah.
And secondly, I could see that, you're looking for something aggressive because you still have a lot of fire in you. And, the opportunity needed to be as aggressive, it seems, as what you have found here, because I think just income was not the primary driver as you ran your candidacy.
100%. Thank you very much. I'm sure I'll start. It's pretty exciting now. Like I'll go back to the course module and hear it over, and I'll drop in a mail if required. Thank you, Sawan. Thank you very much for your support. I'll keep in touch with you. I'll learn things properly, and I'll try to ensure the transfer of your mentorship doesn't fail.
All the very best. I look forward to our next opportunity to connect. How have you been, and congratulations.
Thank you very much, and I'm really glad that this process worked out.
I'm so glad. Well, thanks to your persistence and hard work, and it's wonderful to see that you were able to crack through a CEO position, which was so well aligned with what you had done before.
Yeah. I mean, I was a CEO. And the new position is a director.
Okay.
It's a director network expansion. Basically expanding hospitals in UP, Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, and one hospital in Assam.
Oh, got it. So will you be relocating to Delhi, to that north part of the country?
Yeah, I'm moving to Delhi, and I'll be positioned in Delhi. But I think the board there, especially the current medical head who is heading the hospital, he wanted somebody exclusive to look at expansion.
Got it.
I think if you remember last year, I sent all these things at the nick of the moment because of third wave of COVID. They have to hold this position.
Yes, I know everything had gotten a good response and everything, and you were in detailed discussions, but then I think the third wave kind of created a problem.
And the board told them, like, for now, don't take any senior positions. I think they must have tried something. I think what I could hear from them is they're not able to give time and concentrate on it, and there are inaudible delays in execution. I think this time it was a surprise that I always, to be honest with you, I always used to keep reminders with me and try to just send an email but this has been, I've been holding. I was just waiting. But finally, a surprise came to me in November saying that we are interested in you. So that was quite a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, well, it's always better when it happens that way, because I think they had already come to an assessment that there was substance and value in the way that you had conducted yourself previously.
True. I mean, I try to assimilate what I learned here. I was very happy. Today also I was taking notes, just going through what all I learned. The very interesting part is, like, say, the goal setting part. I came to know myself that I am a ESTJ personality, and the Clifton strengths was really confidence for me that tells me back again that I'm more of an executor. And also there were some sessions where it also tells you like what you need to be cautious enough. Even though there were a lot of other things, I was more concerned about the legacy part. I was not very happy completely to be in private sector. So I was more into a non-profit where the affordable and other people will pay, and the work I do goes to middle and lower segment as well. So glad that this path is completely a non-profit organization, and they don't have any issues in funding. There are funders, but the key is at the highest level, I need to assess and take a call how to go about the project, the scale of the project, and make sure that in 3 years, all these hospitals are sustainable. Some of the things are actually functioning as a smaller units. And within a year, they are expecting me to kick off the Rajasthan project and slowly other things as well. So they're expecting me to at least give them a 2 or a 3 year plan the first 3 months. So some have to look at construction, some shifting, some in between, I believe, and 1 or 2 things in Saharanpur in UP. They want to have quite a large setup, one of the biggest setups in India, and also along with the training institution for all cadres in the hospital, starting from the management cadre to the clinicians to the middle level paramedicals and all cadres, similar to what like say Aravind is having a LICO in Madurai, or L.V. Prasad is having its own institute in Hyderabad. Very similar. That particular donor is dreaming. He's working in US, it seems. He has a company in US, it seems, and he comes to India once a week, and 30-40% of my work is going to be with him.
He comes to India how often?
Once in a month.
Once in a month, okay.
Once in a month, and then he has an office in Noida, so probably I need to be working with him in his office and make sure that his ideas are converted. He's a tech guy, so he would expect things to go much faster. That is why these people struggled, I believe. But as such, this is a very good organization, to be honest. Like this hospital is pretty well known in the country.
You know, I could see that there were a couple things here that would be of greater interest and or deeper alignment with who you are. And one was it being in the not-for-profit industry, because I think some of the work that you had done earlier also had a lot of social welfare associated.
Yeah.
And secondly, I could see that, you know, you're looking for something aggressive because you still have a lot of fire in you. And, you know, the opportunity needed to be as aggressive, it seems, as what you have found here, because I think just income was not the primary driver as you ran your candidacy.
Yeah, I was looking for, I always felt like if I perform, whatever as I always said, I need to be 3 times or something. 1C is what my aim is, but I'm not even 50% of it. But having said that, if I do this project really well, the incentives or the value addition they're going to give me year after year, that makes it count. It is very easy to get something initially itself, but fine. I didn't negotiate a lot. Probably if I would have negotiated, I would have come to 50L or something. I didn't do that. The key thing I was concerned or thing is my JR. I didn't want to do the routine mundane administration in a setup where you just put all of them and it takes about 1 or 2 years to bring things. I want
so
to.
What is the offer here?
The offer here is the annual CTC is 42L.
Okay.
Okay, and which is say about 23% hike from what I'm getting now. I'm actually expecting about minimum of 15% or 20% hike, at least in the first 2 years, and then probably from there 10% is something probably people can easily achieve. 8 to 10% is what the industry thing is, but I'm looking at year 1 to be much more impactful. If I can do really well in year, then I can build on top of it. I should not waste more time in year 1. Because in my previous experiences, what I learned is the priorities has to be very clear.
Correct.
And if the priorities are pretty set well, and things are made, because there are a lot of donors, I'm not going to handle a single donor. Everybody will have their own, but I have to make them realistic and make things move around. And I also need to assess like what will move around, what will move faster, and what will take time. And that balance I have to really put, and I need to form a team around me with this main hospital who's going to work around me and take things forward. This is my preliminary assessment, and I wanted this call actually because this is quite a challenging thing. I wanted it actually. Because if you remember, I sent to the profiles which I needed as a group CEO or a group, whereas I wanted to handle multiple hospitals.
Right.
So this is exactly what I wanted, but probably I would say like 10-15% less than what my expectations were on the salary front. But I think it's okay. I mean, they are taking me as a professional now rather than more as an employee.
Right.
Which means you will have 10% tax, and if the professional expenses are really correctly laid out and told them, there is a chance of a refund. Fine. But I'm actually looking to perform well in such a good setup. It's a very competitive setup. It's not like what I've been before. It's in top 5, top 10 in the country, and in terms of quality of care, that's a model in the country.
The good thing is that, as you stated earlier, the funding is not a problem, because if somebody has priorities of expanding at the kind of rate that you're talking about, not only do you need that clarity to be able to drive the agenda operationally, but also if the funding is contiguous, then only can such things come about. Otherwise, people start emailing each other back and forth on who did what to whom and where things went wrong. So that's a very, very big advantage in this case, that the funding is not an issue.
Yeah, that's what I learned from in this particular aspect. Like I think in the day 18 or 15, like before the resume preparation was there,
Right.
there was actually, if you remember, I used a lot of the techniques which I learned. I didn't know directly he is the decision maker. So I tried through one of my known person who worked over there and found out who is the decision maker now, and let me just have it. And finally, he's a person whom I know, but and then suddenly I sent a message saying that just a hi, sharing with each other, like this is what I'm doing, and I'm interested to come back to ICARE. And let's see if at all there is. And he shared that we have just did a strategic plan, and probably we'll finalize in 6 months, probably November, December 2021. We'll come back to you and we'll have a video call. But that the same thing what you told happened after 1 year.
Yeah, because of the third wave of the pandemic, I think that's.
So I
remember in our exchanges, you ran a very proper hard data and soft data campaign for this.
Tried my best, but with financial thing, none of these people had that financial disclosure because of non-profit.
Right.
But I still have the tabulations and everything. Even now, when I go over there, I can just put in, plug in there and see. But here I handle a lot of finances. So from being a CEO previously in other organization, and here I was on top of the finance here. So I'm sure like I'll go in depth into the projections and also financial health as well.
So tell me about the scope of this role now. I mean, what is it? Turnkey? You'll be looking into land acquisition, construction, site management, operational, staffing, everything, or what's the scope of the role?
Turnkey. So since they've given a position as director, I'm have to only the job description is saying that I have to justify to the board, to the management there. Probably I will be reporting directly to they've just given one more director as my reporting thing, but the main position there, who is an executive director there, who is a clinician, he is the one who's completely involved in it.
Got it.
My understanding is he wanted me, but he didn't wanted me directly to come back and everybody feel that he wants to pull. So he is taking me through the system.
Correct.
But he is the one who is completely involved. And there are 6 areas they have told. I think since you were in Delhi, you are much familiar. Shahjahanpur, that is what is going to be a bigger project. Etawah, Modi Nagar, Shivsagar. Shivsagar is in I think Assam, I believe. And Bulandshahr and Alwar. Alwar is the one they already have a small hospital for a long time. They are almost started construction and everything. They want to finish it off in a year and move to the bigger setup.
Yeah,
all of them are Yeah, all of them are eye hospitals. And only a training institute also responsibility they have given to me. That should be starting. I have to work and get clearance and then kickstart that project. Yeah. So as you said, some are shifting from one building to another. Some could be expanding in the same land, and some could be completely starting from procurement of land, drawing a plan and everything. So I think I won't be able to do everything if I try to do myself. I think it's a very key important thing is assessing the responsibilities, assessing the extension of work or the depth of work, and forming a team of people along with me to make sure that I'm assuming that there won't be any team. They would have considered that it is just coordinating with funder and getting things done. I don't think it is going to be like that. Probably initially the first project
needs a very big, very solid team behind you.
Yeah, so the central team there is pretty strong. Training of doctors and all that is very strong. Their recruitment is pretty strong. They're able to fill any vacancy in 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
So that sort of applications are done something getting. They're quite strong in quality control. They're pretty strong in reach out programs, but probably they're not strong enough in expansion. So I think I have to take their strengths and also make them understand. Initially, it is going to be like I have to justify each resource requirement.
Correct.
But I'm not going to put it initially. I'll just have some sort of a secretary or something initially to start with. But because it is going to be, I have to liaison with most of their own internal directors in different departments, make sure that they train the team. HR plays a larger role in it, and their central procurement division is there. But I need some sort of a manager or something who can work with me and ensure that the nitty-gritty things are taken care of, rather than me putting all my efforts in replying mails and collecting information. Those I don't want to do. That's what I could sense. But once I go for an orientation in the last week of January, I'm going there between 27th to 30th January. I'm there. Then
I'm pretty sure that's what you will find, because to hire a resource at your level, and especially I think professionally you're very wholesome, because you come with very clear and very noble intentions to the whole cause. So their best use would also be to support you with the right resources so that they can maximize the ROI on bringing you on board.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's what it is. As you rightly said, that tells everything about it.
Good. So in case you are successful, then what kind of an incentive structure do you see here possible?
So, the one difference thing between a corporate and a non-profit sector here is like it is going to be annual only. I'm aiming for at least a 15 to 20% hike in the first year. To be honest, I want to be one of the best employee over there, because this is a position created for me, and it's a new project for them. So I'm not going to dig deep into correcting and recourse, and which I've been doing for the last 10 years now. So this is something which excites me. Like I'm not saying other things are bad, but that takes a long time. You cannot hire. You take a lot of cautions.
You're looking at it correctly, because there's a certain amount of trust that has to establish and everything. I was asking more from the view because our Kapoor club has really grown now. And you very rightly would be someone who could belong there. So, if that's the kind of incentive structure that can be made possible in due course as you perform and you show them what you are capable of, then, the added advantages, you also come into our Kapoor club.
Yeah, that's my dream. Actually, I was actually aiming, I finished your course in, I think, July 21. At least I had in my plan of action goals is to touch around 60 to 70 this year, and probably by 24 or something, I should touch 1C. I'm not still drifting away from it, but one thing I made myself clear is my aim should not be that. My aim should be
that is an outcome of what you do.
My aim should be the process and the deliverables, and that should result. That should automatically come.
Correct. No, that's the best way to look at it. But then you're holding yourself to, the highest standard as well.
Yeah. I want to be like I'm doing a lot of efforts to control myself, like this meditation. I think that I'm looking at soft part of a person. Like I want to work a little more on meditation so that I'm much more calmer. Like my sort of personality is not a calm one, so I have to be a little more calmer
and that will be a juggling act even in the responsibilities you're taking up, because you have to be a certain amount of aggressive and brazen and driving something so quickly.
Yeah.
So maintaining that balance between being calm in those situations and yet expecting accountability and performance, it's going to be a whole other level of personal development.
Yeah, being composed, but sticking to what I have to deliver.
Correct.
And the second part is I'm completely fully into fitness. Either yoga every day, but I'm trying to swim and trying to do some sort of play badminton, so that these are all energies which I actually I could not fix a call early this week because I was into Sabarimala.
Oh, okay.
And that was a pretty exciting, very tough trip.
Yes.
72 kilometers of walk in 3 days, been barefoot. So these things tested me, tested my patience and tested my vigor, but at the same time tells me, like, even in my mid 40s, like there are much more things which I can do, and I'm sure like these are things which is given by God, like much more I can deliver for the society.
I'll tell you, I recently put myself through something like this, not as extensive as Sabarimala, but we had gone to Tiruvannamalai.
Yeah.
So got to do that 14 kilometers around, the Tiruvannamalai city, and then climb up the hill of Ramanna Maharishi.
Yes.
So that was a very interesting experience, and wonderful to be able to visit those temples and how much following they have. And then I got to take my parents to Madurai Meenakshi Temple and Rameshwaram to the Ramanatha Iyer Swami Temple. So it's been an interesting transition over New Year to come back to some of this spirituality. But excellent. So I think you had asked about how to play the game from here. And I think with regard to that, I'm not sure if you've seen the level 3 course, but you have access to it as part of your level 2 privileges. And the name of that course is the Apex 90-Day Challenge. It's not a very long course, but it's an incredibly deep course. So what this is essentially helping you do is how to onboard and set up how you are perceived, the boundaries and the parameters that you draw up around yourself, so that you can create the foreground for continued acceleration in your career. See, the thing is, your initial failure or your initial success in a role is the best predictor of your overall success or overall failure in the role. Yeah. And when you join a new company, at that point, everybody's looking at you, because especially at senior levels, the politics can be very refined.
I could sense it.
Right. So the idea is that everybody will be trying to figure out that by you joining, what is the change for them? And that is where you have to connect first and win people's hearts before you start implementing the change and the agenda that you are responsible for. So this level 3 program gives you a 10-step process that allows you to onboard in a very solid way. And it will also help you understand what are all of the traps that typically people fall into. Because see, when you first join them, even though you ran a decent hard data and soft data campaign, you will come to experience their culture, their codes of conduct, their processes, their go-to-market strategy, the relationships that you'll have to build. All of that will be happening for the first time now. So, in the first 3 months or so, you will be consuming value from the company. And only if you consume the right value will you then be able to produce the right value. Because the goal is that by the end of 6 months, you should be at that point where, you know, a very solid trust has taken hold. And in that time period, you know, you need to iron out all of these things, like you need to negotiate for your own success. You know, what are the resources you will be provided? What will your boss consider successful? You know, what are the milestones? How do they look at the problems and the challenges? Because the more you see it similarly, the more chances you will also agree on a solution. How do they want you to report in? You know, what kind of a reporting, you know, does it need to be formal on email every day or a simple phone call? Because, you know, you're going to be handling multi-site locations and travel is going to be a important aspect of your responsibilities.
Yeah.
And then, you know, at the right time, you also need to have the conversation of, if you are successful, then what is your next step? But that happens much closer to when you're ready to deliver that first big project.
Yeah.
And then, you know, how do you build the right alliances across the organization? Because there's a lot of existing resources that you will have to tap into. So how does situational pressures work in the company? How does influence work in the company? Who's going to listen to whom? Who are the key players? So this 10-step system, it's an amazing system in how to onboard, you know, at your level and set the ground in a manner where, you know, you being able to achieve your financial goals through the creation of true value and true results for the organization is made rock solid. So this time when you go through it, I don't think it will take you more than, you know, if you give it an hour and a half or 2 hours a day, I don't think it will take more than 2-3 days to go through it. But sit with a notepad and a pen.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that when you go through it, you know, you are going to land up making an extensive amount of notes in how to put it into implementation. And of course, if you need to reach out to me for any of it, then I'm just an email away. Just send me an email, and as always, you'll get a detailed response.
Sure, I'll definitely do that, and I'll take time. Only thing, I'll start from next week, and I'll spend a good time on it, because I'm recently all your podcast I'm started seeing. So that also is very interesting.
Yes. Podcast is done quite well. I mean, a lot of people have found a tremendous amount of value because I've gone quite deep on a lot of subjects. So
I'll spend, and after that, the good chance I'm getting is that I'm visiting them before even joining there.
Yes.
I'm there for all 2 days there, and also a little bit of personal, like say, shifting. So I'm trying to club with my shifting my child's school over there, but the predominant thing is going to be understanding them, understanding their culture,
right?
And I also see how the management team looks at how. I can figure out. I think I'll try to figure out. So these things, I just wanted to know, like 100. I'll go through level 3 and completely, and I'll drop a mail to you.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm going there for more sort of an orientation to understand the project in detail. Since the joining got a little delayed, they expected me in the middle of February, but here they wanted me for a month more for a smooth transition. So when I told them, they also agreed. So that's to compensate on both sides. Here I gave 1 month extension. There I said I'll come early for an orientation. So it worked well for both sides. So in this visit, what all I need to observe? That's what.
Watch level 3. It'll show you exactly what you need to do, what the goal should be now that you know you've been selected and that they are going to be bringing you on board. And then beyond this, as you begin, what should be the goal for your first day? What should be the goal for the first week, the first 1 month, the second month, the third month? What are the questions to ask? How to examine the history of the company, what they are doing right now? You know, being able to understand the alignment between their vision and their goals and how they've allocated resources for it. So all of that it's going to take you through. Like I said, it will not take a lot of time to cover the course, but it's a very deep course. So really sit with a notepad and a pen, because the kind of value that you will get from it is going to be enormous.
So you mean to say that even though I'm going there before joining, in the first few days, if I go through this level 3 completely, probably I can grab a lot of information to make things work, or to gain a better understanding when I actually join them in middle of March.
Absolutely. And because you'll be working on things that will be important to them from their perspective as well, the manner in which they will perceive you will also be very different, because you have all of this knowledge and how to onboard correctly, in your awareness. So this one program is going to be a big game changer in, how it sets you up for success, and then how you build momentum on the basis of following that 10-step program.
Sure. I think in that probably I'll also get a fair understanding of organization culture, and
Absolutely.
also what sort of acceptance is going to be there.
Correct.
And also the expectations, what they're expecting me to deliver.
Yes.
And one key thing I was actually taking notes, and my thing is 2 things related to me. And so definitely once level 3 will give me a lot of answers, what to tell and what not to tell, because it's a very short visit. So they will, even though it's short, they will try to observe me a lot.
Absolutely. And you're not there to open a Pandora's box. You're not there to reveal any problems, especially anything that can point back to your character in any way. And you're smart enough, and you have such a a good career history, so I don't think there is anything to be worried on that front. But see, initially your goal is to learn how to fit into the mission. You're not there to tell them that the cards that have been dealt to them are substandard. You're there to show them that you know how to win with the cards that have been dealt.
Yes.
That is why they are hiring you at a director level. That is why they are empowering you the way that they are empowering you. So, the idea is now to truly become that team player who can say that, okay, I understand these are the resources available. Of course, you're going to make a case for the resources that you may require in due course. But right now, as you start out, you're coming to understand what are the different, tools available to you to be able to deliver what you need to deliver. And you have to fit in with that mission. And they must really begin to see that here is somebody, who has the personal development and has the business strategies and the acumen to be able to say, okay, if these are the resources given to me, then this is how I can maximize the outcomes. And it'll take you through all of that. It'll take you through what are the traps, because a lot of people, they start talking before assimilating enough information. They feel that they've been hired because of their past success, but they fail to recognize that they also are going through a certain amount of reinventing their own selves to be successful in that new role. So it'll take you through all of those things so that you can understand them at a much more deeper level.
So I'm trying to recollect what you said in the last two part of the suggestions. One is they should feel that the skill set which I possess is good enough for the BD, business development, as well. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's good enough, but you also have to recognize that, it's not just your past success that is going to make you successful. It's also going to be having the ability to reinvent yourself, to know what will make you successful as you take this on.
Yeah, it's starting fresh. Only thing, I have experience, which makes a difference, but that experience should fit into this organization.
Correct. So when you watch level 3, all of this is covered in mini bite-sized chunks. And you'll be very clear. So that's why I say, go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and you'll have a very proper plan in, okay, this is what I need to do now. This is how I build the foundation of the relationships. These are the questions to ask. These are the questions not to ask. And I think you'll be welcomed in a very different way into the organization as and when you do start.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure like anything beyond this, I will go through completely. If in case I have any doubts, I'll drop in before I leave there. And once I come back, I'll try to correlate what I learned and what I observed. I might, if required, request a call with you. And I'm also, I'd be very happy if you can guide me in the first 3 months. Would that be?
I'm happy to guide you, but given what you will be facing, send me an email, because I also prefer to digest all of the nuances and question you appropriately in what was going on, so that the guidance that I give to you is very much on point.
Sure, I'll definitely do that. So because I need to give you information and you need time to prepare, and you have such a busy schedule, so you need to allocate me time. I'll make sure that I post you with in-depth updates. And because I'm seeing that with my past 2 positions in an executive position, I want to make much more difference in the first 3 months in this position, but with smaller success. I'm not aiming great heights, but smaller success in terms of acceptance. Second thing that I can deliver, like I'm top of it. Third, winning people.
This is stage 5 in that program, where you have to secure those small early wins.
Yeah.
But even more important than that, first is, see, nobody cares how much you know till they realize how much you care.
Yeah.
So the first thing is to very sincerely establish a strong foundation with regard to the relationships. There shouldn't be anything out of place there. There shouldn't be any challenges there, any showing off that your way is a better way. You have to learn how to fit in first. And once that comfort starts to come around, that is where you will be empowered to be able to lead change. And your role is going to require a lot of it, because you're looking at an aggressive expansion. You're going to be handling a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, you rightly said. If I compare myself with 2012 and now, I've calmed down a lot. But still, I need to, because once it comes to work and once it comes to implementation, you know me, people like us better than what I have to tell. Like, our personality is like the task come first and the people become second. So nowadays, I'm trying to balance a lot, but still self-realization is there. As you rightly said, still I have to become a much more people's person.
So, if you start looking after the people, then the work that they are doing will always remain first for them.
Yeah.
So that connect and that transition, and that is what leadership is all about. How you are able to create, how you are able to connect their work with the life goals that they will achieve.
Yeah, perfectly. Say, once somebody starts working with me, they should also feel comfort and a career.
Correct.
Somewhat, I'm blessed with the past 3 organizations. Like, people work with me really sincerely well. They got a very good leap in their career. Some of them are really in touch with me. But again, as I said to you before, those are all rebounding organizations or some sustaining success organizations. So here, I would say a sustaining success and more sort of a startup. My project is more sort of a startup.
True.
It's replicating their model.
But a well-funded, sustaining success parent behind. So, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah, that's what they also said. Like, they have donors and they're not bothered about money, but it has to be well transitioned to the society.
Correct. Excellent, Anand. It was very nice to speak with you today, and I look forward to the next opportunity. Keep me updated. If there's anything else I can help with, you know how to reach me. Just fire us an email, and we'll be sure to get back to you.
100%. Thank you very much. And in case if I have to get in touch for a simple help, like accessing your courses, courses and all? Who is the person, or should I
Just,
write
just
down?
send an email to connect@sawankapoor.com and the team will immediately revert to you.
Because what I did is I've downloaded all your PDFs and everything. More than logging in now, I'm seeing it again and again and doing it. So now I'm not logged in for almost more than 6 months. So
that's fine. I mean, they'll help you with your password and everything, all of that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll start. It's pretty exciting, like I'll go back to the course module and hear it over, and I'll drop in if required. I'll drop in a mail if required.
Super.
Thank you very much for your.
Give my best wishes to your family and all the best with the move to the capital. And it's an exciting time. This is a big opportunity, and I think you're the right man for it. So, take it up in a manner where this new chapter can lead to some amazing possibilities.
Yeah, we are all pretty excited. Would you mind my wife saying hi to you, because she's
not at all
sitting behind?
I'd be happy to do that.
She is.
I'd be very happy to do that. Hello, how are you, Mrs. Sudhan?
Hi, sir.
Hello, how are you, Mrs.
Yeah. I'm good, sir. Thank you so much. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. It's very nice to see you, and congratulations to you and Anand on this new chapter.
So much, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful. It was so nice to be able to say hi to your missus as well.
I'm very big fan of you, sir. When he was listening your classes, I was behind him.
Okay. Well, I cannot tell you it's an incalculable blessing when you have the support of your partner. And it seems you have that, both of you offer that to each other. So it's very nice to see that this amazing new, development has taken place, and that you will soon be relocating to the capital and building your lives there.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
She's more, she was an IT professional, but last 3 years, she's more into taking care of our 2 children.
And how old are the children?
My first kid is 4.5 years, and second, the daughter is 1.5 years.
Oh, okay. So they're very young.
So actually, she wants to be an entrepreneur. She studied IT, but she wanted to be an entrepreneur. My next task is after some years, 1 or 2 years, is to help her realize her potential.
Yes.
So if you look at my back, like you see all those designs and everything, she is more into those things. Like she's pretty creative.
Oh, lovely.
And she wants to establish her own setup, but somehow now it's taking little time. I'm sure once my dream is realized and established, I want to establish probably in the next few years, once my daughter go to school, I would like her to be part of your academy and realize her potential.
Sure, happy to do that. And I think that would be the appropriate time, because right now your children are so young that they're going to need their mother full time. But as you build this next chapter and create that foundation, and then once your children are a little more independent, then that would be the right time for her to spread her wings and get started and do that entrepreneurship opportunity.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure it will happen. Thank you, Sawan. Thank you very much for your support. I'll keep in touch with you. I'll learn things properly, and I'll try to ensure like the transfer of your mentorship doesn't fail.
No, I'm pretty sure that you're going to do really well. So all the very best, and I look forward to our next opportunity to connect.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you to both of you as well.